Als je aan het werk gaat aan een machine.
When you start working on a machine, you need to know for certain that it's not running and it cannot be turned on, also not remotely. You need to check to make absolutely sure that when you handle something or try to fix it, that a motor doesn't start running unexpectedly.
Onverwachts een motor gaat draaien. Ik ben Huig van Duin.
My name is Huig van Duin. CRH had asked me to do an interview concerning an accident that took place 42 years ago at a concrete mortar plant in Katwijk. I'm happy to cooperate, because such accidents are still taking place today.
6 jaar voor het ongeval
6 years before the accident happened, I started working at the concrete plant as a maintenance mechanic, managing all mobile plant equipment. I rose through the ranks to become an assistant manager. When building the new plant, I had a shared responsibility for the overall management. And ultimately, that's when this accident happened to me. One morning in September, the mixer operator called to tell me that the conveyor belt was slipping again. Me and my colleague went up there to try and fix the slipping issue. We had done this several times before, but this time it ended in a tragedy. I got caught between the head roller and the conveyor belt, and I lost my arm at the roller's cutting point. Rationally, I'd made the wrong choice. I already had my doubts, but I did it nonetheless. That was this fatal moment where I took the wrong decision. I could have said, stop right there.
Ik was buiten aan het rommelen.
I was gardening in front of my house, and I went straight to the hospital with him. And the first thing they told me, his arm could not be saved. And then something snapped inside. I had a really strange reaction when a neighbor came by asking me if it was true what she had heard. I replied, yes, but we'll get by. But I said it with far too much emphasis, because we wanted to protect our children from all this distress.
De kinderen wilden beschermen voor zo'n verdriet eigenlijk.
Ik worstelde natuurlijk best wel.
Obviously, I was struggling with this problem. I was married, 2 children, and I was responsible for bringing home the bacon. I soon developed workarounds to do the things I wanted to do. But one thing I just couldn't do was tie my shoelaces.
Schoenen strikken.
So we bought a pair of loafers. If I had to wear a shirt and I was going away overnight, then Marijke would put elastic bands on 2 buttons so I could still change en route and fasten the buttons.
En dan waren de knoopjes vast. 2 jaar later, 2 jaar later.
The real blow didn't come until 1.5, 2 years later. There was a time when I couldn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. I was no longer able to make sense of things, and I was in a bad way, definitely.
Heel behoorlijk van slag.
Ik ben een baan gaan zoeken.
I started looking for a job, which wasn't all that common in those days, but I started looking for a part-time job, working at an office again.
Weer op een kantoor gaan zitten. Huig zal dat niet zo voelen.
Huig may not agree, but I feel that we've become more vulnerable. You may not want to hear this, and Huig can do lots of things in fact, but he can only lift big objects if they have a handle, which often makes me decide to just do it for him.
Heel gauw dat ik dat wel even doe.
Het enige is, niet doen.
The only thing to remember is, don't do it, and trust your common sense. So what should you be doing when you consider safety aspects? Just comply with the rules that are in place. You also need to think about whether you're at risk or not. Then you weigh up the risk level and make the right decision.
De juiste afweging maken. Er worden altijd weer trucjes.
People will always think of ways to take shortcuts. We were doing that in our company at the time, and people will keep doing it. We're only human, and the decision I made was the wrong decision.
Was fout.
I should never have done it. And I hope that every person who is watching this will take away something from it.
Dat ik er wat van leert.